Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Tuesday, and hopefully we're working here. Looks like the audio's working too. Great! Wow, that's a change. A lot of times I can't get that right. Hey, very interesting day today. We went into a confirmed uptrend today from a market trend under pressure. And what does that mean? Well, what that means is it's time to come back into the market. I'm kind of coming in slowly, I'm just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm coming in slowly. Put my little toe in the water today with a Microsoft buy, and yeah, it was bitten off. Not bad, but a little bit. Little bit bitten off today. So yeah, it's funny. It's always tough. But interestingly enough, a stock that everybody's heard about is coming into the floor today, and that, of course, is AMC. AMC rebounded very, very nicely today. Interesting. I'm not in the stock, but I just think it's fascinating that that is the case with AMC. So, AMC is moving higher, and I kind of want to just go over this market pulse thing. This is from IBD, of course. And the market is in a confirmed uptrend. That means basically it's time to start moving into the best positions that we can out of cash. And I started really doing that yesterday and on Friday. On Friday, I bought, put my little toe in the water. I bought Matson Lines. It's up today nicely. And then I did buy a Williams Company, which is, by the way, the stock of the day today. We are in a confirmed uptrend, and so we have some strong gains, and so that indeed is looking good as well. By the way, if you're interested in the ETF strategy, great strategy, and that is basically when we move into a confirmed uptrend, if you want a kind of a more of a set and forget way of dealing with it, take a look at that. I'll be probably posting links on this, but basically you go all in into either the QQQ or the Spider, and that those are ETFs, but only when it changes direction like it did today. So today or tomorrow, probably a good time to do that. Just wanted to show you AMC. Of course, AMC has been going down, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's going up again. It was up almost 5% today. Amazing. Has it hit a bottom? I don't know, but it's trading well below, of course, trading well below, of course, the 200-day it's I don't know, I don't know. The jury's still out on this one. The Reddit crowd is the diamond hands people, which I'm not really diamond hands, I can tell you that. But it's definitely moving up today. There's probably a lot of short covering going on. That's my suspicion of why this is. I'm going to switch to the live chart here for AMC. I just kind of want to look at the 60-minute chart to see sort of what's happening. And it just, there was a lot of movement. I mean, because the stock is down in price, any little movement of $2, that's a significant. And it has sort of looks like it has come down a little bit after hours. This is obviously not a recommendation, but it did gap up today, and then it kind of made its high here at 1850, and then it's pulled back down to 17. Would I buy this? Well, probably not, but I'm kind of happy that good stuff is going on it. Checklist, it's not bad. Actually, it's not a bad checklist. I just hope the movies come back. I love them so much. My first job was as a projectionist many years ago, and I'm just hoping that they're going to come back. I do love the business, but AMC is a little bit troubled in terms of in terms of that. So you got to be kind of take it with a grain of salt here, anyways. So that basically kind of is for that's kind of it for AMC. Don't recommend it, but definitely something that you might want to look at. Now, I did buy Microsoft today, and it did come off of a reversal. This was not a secondary buy point. If you got the action trade alerts, by the way, that is available. You can sign up super easy. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and sign up. But this was on the list of the 5 stocks Two of them, of course, I bought Matson Lines and Williams. I bought this one. Also on the list is Robert Half. And I believe, I can't remember the last one that was on there, but it did go out. This came off a reversal, not a great buy point. It's a secondary buy point. Typically, you want to buy them out of bases. That was the case of course, with Matson and with Matson Lines, as well as with Williams Companies. All right, so this is the stock of the day, Williams Company, WMB, and it's looking pretty good coming out of the cup with handle. This is always a good place to buy it if you can, as it moves above that buy point. And there was a 29.94 buy point on it. It just moved up slightly above that 30.91. Now, the question is, why is Williams doing well? Well, this is not, in a normal market, this, you probably wouldn't be too excited about this stock. But right now, with the inflation, there is a lot of interest in some of these transport stocks that are transporting natural gas, because, of course, it's coming in, it's winter, it's going to be a cold one, and most of the net electricity in the U.S. is generated with natural gas. So this is a very important company in that way. I came into this one on the 31st, basically with a full position. I actually bought a full position. It's the only one I bought a full position on, and I did put my stop losses at the 21-day line, 28.52. That's where my stop loss is. My entry was 30.02, so not too bad, judging by that, judging by that entry. Here's kind of what I've got. I don't have a whole lot yet, because remember, we're coming out of this market in correction into a confirmed uptrend. So I'm starting to wade into the market. Basically, what I'm looking for mainly are stocks that are viable at the right prices. So that's kind of why I'm in Matson Williams. And then Microsoft, a little bit of disappointment, down 2.22. The question is this, what's going on here? I do think that, this is a large stock. It does have a lot of momentum, and it's more difficult in many ways to judge. It's more slow moving, but looking at the 5-minute chart here, we have a lot of day traders in it, as you can see by this last peeking it here. There's a lot of day traders in it. It did trade up towards the end of the day, and I do think we're probably, we'll see, but we're probably, we bounced off. We moved above that 200-day line. I just don't like to buy, as you know, I've been watching the show, I don't like to buy below that 200-day line. We basically tested, and then we moved above that 200-day line. That's sort of where I became interested in it. On the technicals for Microsoft, it's above basically the 40-week line. Of course, this is the weekly chart, not the daily chart we're talking about. It's above the 3-week line, but it is slightly below the 10-week line, which means basically that we still, this may be indicating a reversal. We will see. Hopefully, the 10-week line will not come down below the 50-day week, because if it does, of course, that's the death cross. We don't want to see that. But I believe what happened here with Microsoft, it was a test, basically, of the 200-day line. Basically, the last test of the 200-day line was back in that COVID downturn, believe it or not. So that's the last time it tested completely the 200-day line, but it's sort of been bouncing along, and we did test here. So hopefully this may connote a movement higher. Now, the thing about it is, I don't think this is a full-on rally. I think this is a relief rally. I hate to say this. I think this is a relief rally, but we ought to be able to get some good movement out of it. If you want to get in on the free offer of the January 27th, 2022 ready list, I got to remember to improve my spelling here. You can go to this link. It's https://3h_e046q. So if you can read that, or you take a screenshot of it, you can get to that. By the way, an easier way, if you're looking on TikTok, super easy to get this. Just go to the profile, and there's a button there that will get you. We'll get you there. And if you're watching on And if you're watching on and if you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, you can also just go directly to the website, and the buttons are there. www. Dallas Trading Floor. So let's get into some of the questions. Thank you for waiting. And let's see. Let's take a question essentially from TikTok first. Thank you for everything. To the moon, AMC. Okay, well, AMC, got it. Love it. Almost $8,000 on Moderna, I guess it is. Please talk about Overstock. Overstock. Okay, well, let's see if I can tell you anything on Overstock. Let's go there first, and I'm gonna try to get. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get. I think it's OS. I just have to see what the symbol is on that Overstock. And Overstock symbol is OSTK. I should know that. OSTK is the symbol for Overstock. Let's put it up. OSTK, Overstock. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, you can jump on over to YouTube, and you can see all the charts and everything. I can't show those charts on TikTok, but I can definitely show them on YouTube. So here we go. This is Overstock. Basically, what's happened with Overstock, we had a nice little bounce here. I think it just came through earnings. Let's see. I'll take a look at it. No, it's not. Its earnings are on the 24th. There was a big bounce here, definitely. Look at that, up 16%. Okay, this is a covering rally. Okay, I hate to tell you this, but I believe looking at this, this is a covering rally. What do I mean by a covering rally? Well, a lot of people were shorting this thing, and it looks like it popped right back up to the 40-day line. So that's what it's looking like here. The relative strength is 13. That's terrible. You have the death cross here. That's not good either. So what I would think about doing here, believe it or not, let's look at the after hours here. Overstock actually, and I know this sounds kind of crazy here, this might be a good one to re-short. I'd watch how it trades tomorrow, but it does look like there is a short covering rally, at least in the short term, and that might be an opportunity to put a bear put spread on this one. Cannot tell, but my guess is it looks as if it is testing the 40-day line, and if we draw a trend line here, looking into the future at about the 18th, this is probably going to be below $40 by the 18th of March. That would be my guess. Anyways, so that is what my thoughts are for Overstock OSTK. Let's look at the checklist. The checklist is pretty terrible on this one. It's 44%. That's not one you want to buy. On the pattern recognition, it's really bad. It's 64. It's 51% below the cup, which was made 62 days ago. So this is still in decline. The Overstock is a declining stock right now. It did have a dead cat bounce, which is looking like it was a relief rally. Looking at it, comparing it to the Nasdaq, that's what this little line is here. It looks as if it is sort of in sync with that. So that's interesting. So as the Nasdaq goes, this stock goes as well. So here's what I would do. I'd probably do nothing on this one. I wouldn't buy this one because I do think that the trend is probably still downward on Overstock. But it does, it's an interesting stock, but it's probably still going the wrong way. The wrong way. So let's get into some questions. Thank you so much for asking. Google, good earnings and split news came out. Your thoughts? Wow, splits are incredible, and I really like splits, and the fact that the news came out on splits, it says it's a 20-to-1. So here's what's going to happen from the announcement to the date. Google will start to trade up. So what I kind of recommend, if you can possibly see your way to buying 1 or 2 or 3 shares, I think you're going to benefit. Obviously, I'll be putting out some more information on Google on the split now that I know that it's available and it was approved. But let's go to the chart, GOOG, which is definitely, when stocks split, that is when, that is definitely a very, very good sign. It came all the way down to the bottom of the consolidation at 2,500. It is on fire. Look, it's up $224. This thing is definitely headed up. I'm probably going to put a spread on it, a bull spread on it. This is looking good, especially with the news on the potential split. So I'm going to put this down for a bull call spread. That's probably what I'm going to do on Google, GOOG. And I hopefully will have that out tonight. That would be great if I did. I'm going to look at this tonight to see where it's going, but I do think that at least out of the box we can do a bull call spread on this one. It looks like, yeah, it had super duper numbers, 46%. Boy, I tell you, this is just a profit machine. This is just an absolute profit machine. Look at that. Look at their sales up 41%. This is just incredible. This is quarter over quarter, 62% prior. Just really, really strong all the way around. So, for the most part, I don't really like where the market is going, but boy, I do like Google. I really, really like Google. So what I've got to do, everybody, is come up with a plan to trade this higher, because this definitely, this definitely is worthy of that. So I'm looking at possibly some spreads that we can do on Google. Probably a bull call spread on this one. Maybe a bull put spread. Don't know. Kind of want to look at the numbers. The calls are going to be expensive, so it might be prudent to do the put spreads rather than the call spreads on this one. But this is very interesting news, and I really appreciate people bringing it to my attention. All right, let's look at AMD. This is the other one that I think is kind of like Microsoft in that we did have a nice reversal, and I do think this one's going higher. I do like, of course, I very much like AMD. I've been waiting to get back in, and part of the reason I've been waiting is because it's pulled. I don't like it when they're pulling down, obviously, to the. I don't like it when it's pulling down to the 200-day moving average. That's exactly what's happened here. It pulled down, it tested, it moved higher. That's a good sign. Earnings were we just came through earnings, I guess. What do we? Yeah, we just came through earnings. I think earnings were super, up 77%. So this is going to get a very nice bounce. So this is not a traditional entry, but it is a reversal entry. Let's see if we can go to the charts here to get the app. This is a reversal entry. See, this is the correct entry here, basically at 142. We're at 130, but it's up $13. This is probably going to move. This is probably going to move up to the reversal line here, and we'll see. These are very, very good numbers. This is probably a very good place to start building a position. I probably would not buy more than a half a position here, just because it's best to pyramid in. Half position here, half position here, half position here, and then when it pulls above that reversal line, quarter position. So basically a full position, half, quarter, and you're coming into it nice. I think this is definitely looks like it is probably gonna go higher, but we want to make really this would be early to get in here. I really want to confirm it that it's on its upward trend and it's up past the 21-day line. That would be a good thing. It's past the 10-day line and now past the 21-day line. So I think you could start moving in here with AMD. This has a very good checklist. 78, not 100%, but very good. In all things. It's 2% from the pivot in 74 days. So we're basically starting this new kind of this new pattern here. This was the original pivot, was this cup with this double bottom here. that happened, and then we round tripped it, and then we came all the way back, and I think it's now going to be making its descent once again. So this is not necessarily a bad place to be in. The last buy point on this one, a double bottom, and with a pivot of 114.49. We're currently it's 130, so it was closed at 116. So boy, it's really up and after hours. It's probably going to pop tomorrow as well. It definitely looks strong. So I would consider possibly moving into a position in AMD. I'm probably going to buy it tomorrow, probably a half position. That's probably what I'll do. But it's looking very good on this, rebound. Now that we're in a confirmed uptrend, we can start moving back in. And AMD is definitely worth that. Oh, hey, thank you. Made money on my right. Good for you. Thank you for buying my coffee mugs. Thank you for buying my coffee mugs. Let me. I like to save this for my scrapbook. Thank you very much, Jay. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, the PayPal deal. It was interesting. PayPal is one of those stocks that has been kind of weak, and I do think I'm going to be closing my spread tomorrow, but. PayPal had earnings and it collapsed under its own weight, which for us at Dallas Trading Floor was good. We did okay on it. I mean, it's down. Let's see, what is it? 15%. So I may even have to adjust where I'm going to close my spread on it. But let's kind of look at that because that's good. If you're in the spread, let's take a picture of the price. This is after hours price, of course, 148. Let's see if we can bring up that on the let me see if I can get that up here. Okay, let's see. Let me open another window here, and this is going to be for. All right, and let's see how we're checking in on how we're doing on this spread, and this is for PayPal. And basically what I do is I try to take a picture of everything. This is the second chance. Oh, okay. So I think we can, I think we can go to it and it'll be live. There we go. Okay, that looks good. I did adjust it a little bit. Right at closing, it was at 156. But since that time in the after hours trading, we have gone down even more. So it's funny. You think, wow, it's terrible. It's going down like this. But sometimes when, things go down, they can be profitable. So that's why I like these bear trades. So basically, this is the current price of PayPal, 148. So let's kind of look. Now, wait a minute. I don't even have enough stuff. So it's actually going to be even lower than this. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see if I can kind of adjust it because we're at 148. Geez. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to the calculation that I made on this. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Go to the calculation. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go look at the heat map. All right. There's the heat map. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bigger chart because we got to go because it's in 145. So let's go down to 143 just because it's sunk so low. And let's see if we can clip this in there. Okay, so let me just put this matrix in and we'll go right back and we'll kind of look to see where we are tracking this one. So what I'm doing here basically is I'm just revising the heat map a little bit so that we can see kind of what the fair value of this trade is. Now, what do you mean by fair value, Jim? I mean, what happens is that because options move around, you have a situation where you have to put in you have to have a calculation of the fair value of the trade when you close it on a limit order. I'm saying getting kind of weird here, but let me just kind of show you that. So this is a little kind of a cool little calculator that allows you to that allows you to kind of look at it relative to that. So the price that we're at right now is 148. So I'm just going to move this little button here to 148, And then I'm going to look at the day. Now that's going to be, let's put it at the second because that's going to be what's coming up. So the fair value of this trade should be, there we go, should be about 660. Looks like about 665. So if you were in this trade, we originally received $952. That was the credit. I'm going to close it early for this 655. So I'm going to basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go 952 minus the, I know this is kind of complicated, 665, giving us 287. And since there were 7 contracts, divided that by 7. So if you're interested in this one, closing this one early, you probably want to put in a limit order. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to kind of show you kind of how it will look. But you kind of want to go here, and this is going to give you, if you want to close this one early, based on the price, you can pick up on this trade $665. And this is how you do it. You put in that closing trade for a debit of 287, and of course divide that by 7 because there's 7 contracts, giving you about 41 cents per contract, and that'll give you a very nice trade there. So I hope I haven't totally bored the pants off of you, but that's sort of how you do it when you are calculating these trades. So the fact that it went south, not so good for the people that were long, but great for us. We're going to make some good money on that, and hopefully I'm going to sell some more mugs. And that is important. I need to sell those mugs. I got a whole bunch of them from Christmas that I need to move. So thank you for that very, very much. All right, let's see. Is Alphabet a buy tomorrow? Thanks for doing these sessions. Great. Well, thank you. Thank you too. Well, let's look at Alphabet. And of course, that is Google, G-O-O-G. I do believe it is. I do believe that Alphabet is a buy tomorrow. And I kind of want to show you why I think that. I mean, hopefully I'm not totally Captain Obvious here, but I do think it is a buy. One of the things is we're through earnings. You always want to kind of, with these very volatile stocks, you want to wait until earnings. Earnings were super duper. And we did have that announcement, that 20-to-1 split. By the way, anytime a stock that's this big splits 20-for-1, if you've been watching me for a while, we did these splits on Tesla, we did these splits on Apple, and we made some serious money. And hopefully this time, I've got to put my thinking cap on, get the coffee pot ready, because we're going to make some money this time on the Google split, because a 20-to-1 split with a stock like this is a good thing. So this will move up on the announcement. It's already moved up 8% in after-hours trading. I believe it's going to move higher tomorrow. I wish I could buy it right now. Maybe you can get in there right now, but this is going to be a winner chicken dinner because of that announcement. It's basically almost firing on all cylinders. The only thing it's not is in this accumulation distribution attribute. Most of the big companies that have it already have it. I suspect there's going to be heavy buying of this on this split. Into the split, I think we're going to see a lot of companies, funds, everything else. They're going to look to buy Alphabet, because I think everyone's going to have it. It's going to kind of be the it stock, probably like Tesla was. I'm not dogging on Tesla. I'm just saying with this, I think that we might have a really, really good opportunity. But I definitely think we are going to have. This is a good buying signal for Alphabet. So thank you for that question. That's a great, great question. All right, any Canadian stocks up? Okay, that's great. Let's see if we can find some Canadian. Now, there is a place that I like to look for Canadian-based stocks, and that is in the oil and gas, in the oil patch. There is a section. I'm going to go over here, down here to the industry groups, the Canadian E&P companies. There's not that many in it, but so there's some very good companies in that group that are buyable. So let's look to see kind of what Canadian firms that we can find that are buyable right now. And of course, I think most of these are on the Toronto Exchange. Number one area, by the way, and I want to point this out, this industry group ranking is number one. It's the Canadian E&P. E&P. Thank you for this question. This is a great question. We're going to look to see, we're going to go through each stock on the Canadian E&P and kind of look to see which ones are set up the best. The top stocks, of course, are going to be Vermilion, Interplus, Crescent, Point, Canadian National. Now, I want to take a look at Canadian National first because I think it's fairly well set up. Well, I thought it was set up. It's bouncing off the line. That's not a bad place to buy it. Not a bad one here. But let's see if we can find one that's going to give us like 100% in this. So basically, that's the biggest one. Crescent Point. Canadian National is the biggest. Let me just look at Canadian National. Boy, this is a good checklist. The 89 checklist. The only thing it's rated is on earnings. On the pound and rack, we are 19 from the pivot, so we're a little bit extended here. On the technicals, boy, we're at 10-day line. We could buy it off the 10-day line. On this is not necessarily a bad place to buy it. This is definitely a strong stock. It's in the number one group, and it's the biggest company in the number one group. Canadian National. CNQ is the symbol on it on the American exchanges. I think it's available on the Toronto exchange as well, and that is one that you want to definitely consider. Let's take a look to see if I can find any other really good ones in this area. This is the number one area right now in the market. So checklist 33, no, not what we're looking for. Let's see if we can find, let's look at this Interplus, see if I can find something that is, it's okay. I kind of like something a little bigger. Let's see. Obsidian. Okay, 99 rank, 44 checklist. I just want something stronger than this. You know, I think in the Canadians, your best bet right now is Canadian Natural Resources. I think it's your best bet. And, you know, it is a leader. And it has a 98 relative strength. That is very, very good. It's in the top 2% of all stocks. It's also above the 200-day line and also above the 50-day line, the 21-day line, and it's right on the 10-day line. So this is not a bad place to buy it. This is definitely trending. Looks like it's going to trend above the NASDAQ. Yeah, this is the one you want, I think. It's Canadian National. So what I would say, what I would say here, if you're interested in the Canadian stocks, and I definitely am as well, I think that you can definitely buy. I think you can buy CNQ right now, and it is one of the more expensive stocks at 52. But I think this is I think this is the best of the breed right here. Canadian Natural Resources. It's in the number one group. And it has very nice fundamentals. Let's just kind of review the fundamentals as well. The sales are very good. The next earnings report is going to be on March the 3rd, and it looks like we're going up very nicely with sales every month, and they're just crushing it when it comes to profitability. So wow, lots of funds are in this one. It's 57% owned by funds. Beautiful cash flow. So 15 PE ratio. I normally am not a PE ratio guy, but when you're looking at oil stocks and the commodity stocks, PEs become important. But C&Q, definitely really, really like it in terms of the stock. So thank you for that, bringing that up. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that as well. But C&Q, I think that's one you want to look at. Is PayPal dead? Well, I don't think it's dead. But, the problem with PayPal is going through a very, very long basing period. I want to give you some other stocks that I think might be in that basing period. Okay, one of them, yeah, there we go. Okay, there's four stocks that I think are kind of damaged. This is the bear put spread that I put on it, so you can see it. The stocks that I'm looking to possibly short are PayPal, which I did have a short on. I think we're doing well on this one. The next one I'm looking, it's kind of weak, kind of a weak sister, is, believe it or not, Generac, GNRC. This one, unfortunately, is also looking pretty bad. This one's going to have to go in base. So this is also a potential short. This is also a potential short here. I want to do a little bit more research on it, but I do think that GNRC is also a potential bear trade. So that's also one that I think we can look at. PayPal is probably going to go through a period where it's going to base, and then it will come out of the base. But right now, it's not doing well, and that's why I have a bear trade on it. I think Generac is another one on that. Another one I think is weak and you could make some money on the downside on this one. You're probably not going to like me saying this one, but it's Shopify, SHOP. It's just run up too much, and I think it's also potentially shortable as well, and that is that is Shopify. So shop SHOP is also a potential. I haven't shorted these, but this is also a potential bear trade as well. Shop, you might want to look at that one too. And the last of the four, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, for bad, is Etsy, ETSY. Let's look at Etsy. ETSY. These are the ones I'm kind of looking at possibly going short on, just because they are kind of in the situation where, it's just one of those things. What goes up must come down, and ETSY, Etsy, it's a good company, but I think it got overvalued, and I think it's going to base, and I think there's going to be a long base on it. So that is the reason why I think this one also is a potential bear trade. It's called Etsy. Of course, everybody knows about it, but those are the ones I really like. Now, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I should have done the bad. The good stocks, the ones that I think are just going to do fabulous in this market. And of course, one of them, I've already bought. It's Microsoft. I mean, pretty much everyone's familiar with that one. I think NVIDIA, I have a bull trade on NVIDIA right now. I think NVIDIA, it was up $12. As you can see, NVIDIA just rocketing after hours. It's up $12. Let's kind of see how let's see how our bull trade on that one's doing. I'm going to do the same thing I did with PayPal. We're going to kind of clip that out, and I know that this helps me actually. So I have a little bit of a guilty pleasure here. So let's go to take a look kind of at this one. Let's go over here to, and this is going to be for this is going to be this is going to be for NVIDIA, and NVIDIA tremendous up today after hours, looking very, very strong. So I do have a bull put spread on this one, and let's kind of analyze this to see if there's some more meat on the bone, because we always like to see that. I'm going to go over here to my handy dandy heat map, and when I put this in there, it was at 249, but it's looking good. It's moving up, and after hours currently it is trading. Let's see if we can get that one. Oh goodness, there we go. Let's see, go all the way down here. There we go. I think that's going to let us see it. All right, so basically it's traded up tremendously. 259 is where we're looking. So we're going to kind of do the same thing here. We're going to kind of get this, and we're going to go up. Wait a minute, 259, we're already above. See, we're already all the way up here. I actually have to get a new chart because there's not enough. I've got to put a new chart in here. So let's get a new chart just super quick so we can see how valuable this is with this action on NVIDIA. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to the calculator, going down here, and I'm going to just readjust this chart. Okay, and I want to see it go up maybe to 265, 260. Let's put that in there. That should adjust the heat map here a little bit so we can see a little bit more of it. And let's just move this over to the slide. There we go. Oops, didn't quite get it right there. A little bit more. This is for NVIDIA. All right, so here we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back because this one went up so much. We're going to have to replace that old and worn out heat map with a new one, giving us more heat, right? More heat. So let's go down here, and this is the new one. This is the new heat map. We just readjusted the parameters here so we have a little bit more heat on the map. There we go. All right, so we can kind of see what's going on here. Let's see. Oops. Send that to the back. Okay, so right now we're at 259. So if we just adjust it over here to basically, it's going to say the third, but really it's the second tomorrow. That's going to give us this number. There we go. So if we were to close this tomorrow, based on the after hours action of this, and the after hours action looks pretty good, we would be at 188. So basically this is now going to move, and it's going to hold probably very now. We started out 238, and we'll put this way down here. 238. Yeah, there we go. So we started here. Boy, I tell you what a difference a few days makes. It's already moved up to here because they had their earnings, and then they just were up very strongly. 12%, 5% up $12. As you can see, we're very much in the green here with this trade. So very nice trade. I think that we want to keep this one and not change it. All right. So thank you for that on PayPal. Let's look at ASO for Jeet. Mr. Jeet, thank you very much. And we will go over to ASO, American Sports and Outdoors. And this is kind of a great store if you're in Texas. It's a very popular on Academy Sport. I have over in Garland, actually. So here we go on the chart there. Do we have a reversal on this one yet? Well, I'm not so sure. What I'm doing here is I'm going to put in, I'm a little bit skeptical of anything relative to retail right now. I don't think the retail numbers, I think they're going to not pan out to be as good as everyone thought they were. We're still in a downward trend on American Sports and Outdoors. So you don't want to buy it here. You want to wait for it to confirm above this reversal line. So based on today, with American Sports and Outdoors, it's buyable if it can close above about 42. So we're at 40.99. So we're pretty close. It has a nice pop there. Let's see on the weekly. Let's see if they had, I guess they just came through earnings. Yeah, they did. I guess they did. No, 3:30 is when their next earnings are out. I wonder why they're buying today. I do think that though that their sales are decreasing in terms of velocity. It's still very good, but just a tough business. Here's the thing on this one. I do think that there are better areas to be in the market right now. Right now, retail unfortunately isn't doing as well as it was just a very short time ago. Currently, this one's 117 out of 197. I think I would avoid this one for right now. I think I would avoid it if I was going to go long on this thing. I would probably avoid ASO for now. So avoid ASO for now. And it's a good stock. It's just not in the right. I don't think it's in the right place. It's not acting the right way. So there's probably other things out there. Let's look at other AMD calls. Doing good on calls on AMD. I think you're going to have some very nice stuff if you're going if you're going long, if you're going if you're bullish on AMD. All right, so 100% checklist. Yeah. Let's see if it has 100%. 67 is what I've got in Academy Sports. So that might have changed. I don't know. Oh, question from TikTok viewer. All right, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Not the time for BA right now. Absolutely, I agree with that. Thanks for coming in on this one. BA Boeing was for many years the largest exporter in the U.S. and I just think I agree with you. I don't think it's the time for Boeing. I just don't like to buy it below that black line. That's the 200-day moving average. The checklist is a 44. This is not what we want to see. On the technicals, we're below that 40-week line, so this just isn't looking good. If we flip over to the daily, yeah, I mean, it had a bounce here, but we're still below the 200-day line. Just not a good place to buy it, in my opinion. Wow, we had a losing quarter in terms of sales were down. A lot of funds in it still, but still a cash flow, a negative cash flow. The fundamentals don't look good either. So I would skip it. I really would. So for BA, for Bank of America, for BA Boeing, I just think you've got to be, I think you've got to be very careful. So I think, basically for Boeing, Boeing is BA is a no. So Boeing, just a no for right now. Maybe put it on your watch list, but I wouldn't be heavy into it right now. All right. So is AMC a keeper? No, it's a reversal. It's something you want to just it's a one you want to make your money on it and then run away, in my opinion. All right, let's look at Tesla. That's a great one. Thanks, Ricky, so much. Tesla. This was my star stock for so long, and I still love it, but I am not in it. I've been out since 980. That's where my stops were. It looks like it's making a rally, but the thing about it, I think it needs a basing time. I think it needs time to sort of base and create a new base, because I think it's come all the way down to the 200-day line. It seems like it's getting some support and moving up, but boy, I'm a little bit leery right now in moving back in. The key level is 980. We're below that. So I do think that if we can see 980 and hold, then I think we could come back in, but we're still in this downward trend. So I want to see it move higher. I really would prefer if it moved above. I think a good place to buy it is about 980, but I'm not in it right now. But we do have the relative strength is increasing, and so that's right in sync with the NASDAQ. So my thoughts basically are I would wait on this one. Let's see if we can pull above 980. That's sort of my stop loss. That's been my stop. I like buying it from 980, riding it up, and then hopefully taking some profits on it. Samuel is talking about Generac, GNRC. This is one I think is shortable. GNRC. And the reason I think it's shortable is I think it's just it's every dog has its day kind of thing. And right now, Generac is in this trend, this downward trend. Let's see if I can get that in there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Generac is in this downward trend. It had what they call the death cross, which means that the 40-day moved below the 200-day. That indicates weakness. You'll notice when that happens, it'll try to rally up to that 10-day line, then it'll come down, rally up to the 10-day line, rally up to the 10-day line. It's rallied up below the 10-day line. My guess is if it gets to this, if it gets to 300, that's a good place that you possibly want to consider a short, because I think it may move lower. Now, it's a little bit up in after hours, but I do think this one is going to make an attempt, and then it's going to come back down. So this is one that I have on my list. as a potential bear trade. It's got a 56 checklist. The pattern rec is, well, it's 21 days below the consolidation pivot in 160 days. So it hasn't really been doing much for a while. It made its peak here at 524. Currently, it's below 300. 50% of the value of this stock has been erased in basically 3 months. November, December, January. 50% of the value of this stock, Generac, has gone down in 3 months. So I think that it potentially will go down even more than this. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to rally up to that 21-day line, and then we will see some reversal. Okay, let's look at Meta. This, of course, is old Facebook. FD, of course, is the symbol on it. Is there a reversal on it? Good question from Jay. There is a reversal off of the consolidation, the bottom of the consolidation. The bottom of the consolidation, and this is the weakest of the base patterns, is at 384. It's currently at 3. It's currently above that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the bottom of the consolidation. Excuse me. It's not 384. Is 289. That was the bottom of the consolidation, and it basically bounced off of that, came back down, bounced again, and it's moved up, and it's moved up above the 21-day line. Now it's still in danger because we've had the 40-day line that's moved below the 200-day line, so that's showing weakness. It's still in a downward trend. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reactivate this trend line. This is going to showing whether or not it's in a downward trend or an upward trend. Currently, Meta has not reversed; it's still in a downward trend. So that's kind of my that's kind of my take on it right now. So Facebook FB is still in a downward trend. So that's still the situation on Facebook. So I probably wouldn't be jumping in on Facebook right now, just based on that. The checklist is okay, 67. I did have a bear trade on this one. I closed. I did have a bear trade on it. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let's see if I have the notes on that one. Hold on. I think I put it in there. Well, maybe I'm not. I hope I did. I'm not sure. I didn't. I got to get better at noting these things because it's so when you're doing it. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, I closed a bear trade there and I didn't notate it. It's earnings in one day. I wouldn't touch this one. I would not touch it. I would not touch it right now. It's just not a good look. All right, we're almost towards the end here. So let me see if I can get any thoughts on Box and or Udemy. Should I sell my AMD? I think AMD is probably going to go higher. I think AMD is going to go higher. It all depends on where you bought it, of course. But I do think that AMD has reversed higher, though it's still showing a downward trend. I think you should hold on to it. I would hold on to it, Ahmad. I absolutely would. Let's look at ChargePoint. This is not going to be a good chart here, unfortunately. CHPT, and of course the competitor to this one is Blink Charging, one of my favorites. I made money on it about a year ago. This one is just not looking good. I'm sorry to say. I wish I could give you better. I wish I could give you better news on this one. We are definitely below the 200-day line, and we're below the reversal. We had a little bit of an uptick. We have a relative strength of 11. This is not good. So if you are down more than 7%, I know you don't want to hear that, but I definitely think it bears repeating. If you're down more than 7% on this one, consider, you just want to consider just possibly selling this one right now because it doesn't look promising. And don't think that a stock cannot go to zero. Believe me, it can. I don't think ChargePoint is. I think it's going to get bought out by somebody, but it just doesn't look good right now. It just doesn't look good. All right. Question: are we at the end of the market correction? Not necessarily. We are in what they call, I think, a relief rally. It's kind of what they call a dead cat bounce. I still think the overall trend, it depends on a short, medium, or long-term trend. In the short term, we are in an uptrend. In the medium trend, I think we're in a downtrend. And in the long term, I think we're in an uptrend. Does that make any sense to you? Probably not, because it hardly makes sense to me. But I do think that we are in a relief rally right now. So I am not as psyched. And the reason I think we're in a relief rally is because we're not seeing, we're not seeing a lot of the techs do as well as they should be doing at this stage in the cycle. So I think we're in a relief rally. I don't think we're finished with the correction, but we're in an upward trend. Paulie is talking about Xilinx, one of my faves. XL in X, Xilinx. And this, of course, there we go, Xilinx. And this one looks like it may have turned the corner, hopefully. Did turn the corner there, and it looks like it's moving up. Now, would I buy at this? Well, it's up $20. They're doing something right there. They're doing something right here. Was it earnings? What happened? Why is this happening? It's got a great checklist. Okay. I think people are just moving back into the techs, I guess. I don't know, but this is excellent. Any stock that could go up 20% in sales a quarter, I'm liking a lot. That's very good. Relative strength 96. This is strong. It just looks like it's done a reversal. So I think that Paul, you're right on Xilinx. I think it is a reversal. I think this looks like it's reversing higher. So that's definitely my my take on it. I think that XLNX Xilinx is reversing higher. So I definitely think I definitely think that's there. So, and can you buy it at this level? Well, I'd be interested in nibbling at this because it is reversing higher. It definitely is. It moved off this consolidation base. This is the weekly chart that we're looking at. If we go over here to the daily chart, then I think that it's starting its movement and movement above. So I definitely think it's reversing. I think it's a good stock. Well, let's see if we have one last question from TikTok. Thank you very much. This is for PayPal. PayPal is oversold based on the implied move, but they're growing competition. So I'd be careful. I would agree with you. Absolutely. That's a very good analysis. I actually have a short on PayPal, believe it or not, right now, but I'm going to be trying to close that tomorrow because we definitely moved down very much, and I'm going to be trying to close that trade tomorrow. So I will be back tomorrow. And if you want to get on our action trade alerts, I'm going to be trying to put together something on a trade on Alphabet because that's such momentous news, the 20-to-1 split. We can always trade that very, very well, either with options or with physical shares. But you got to be on the action trade alerts to get it, and also, of course, we're going to probably review this in depth in the Discord room, and that's also available. But basically, you have to go to sign up for this, and that is at www.Dallas Trading Floor. So it's easy to get there. www.Dallas Trading Floor. Now, if you're on TikTok, super easy. Just go to the profile, click on the link, and it takes you right to the page. Also, right after the show, the YouTube video will be up, full hour. If you want to review any things that I've said in the charts, you can just take a look at that and scroll through it because it all should be there. So I will be back tomorrow at 4. Thanks, everybody, so much. Also, just want to make a plea out there. Got to do this each time. Just like everybody else out there on YouTube and all these other platforms, I please like, don't just small like it. We want a big like it. So big like it, like that, like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll get out to more people. We've got over 100,000 people following us on TikTok, and we're growing fast on YouTube as well. So if you like it, that helps me get it out there to more people. Of course, the idea here is to try to help everyone, including myself, solve that money problem. So I will be getting back to you tomorrow at 4:30. Happy trading till then, and stay safe, everyone. It's going to be a cold one here in Dallas coming up, so I've got to bundle up and make sure that my pipes don't freeze tonight. Happy trading, everyone. I will see you tomorrow at 4.